And joining us now is Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. I want to ask you first about the sort of rhetoric we've been hearing over the last 24 hours from Russia about the potential for World War III, about, in quote, considerable possibility for the use of nuclear weapons from your counterpart in Russia. What is your reaction to that kind of talk?
Well, this is Russia's traditional scaremongering that no one should be afraid of. Ukraine has demonstrated we are not afraid of Russia, and we know how to win. And neither the United States or anyone else in the world should be afraid of them either. The response to such blackmailing coming from the Russian Federation should be firm, and the more countries will support Ukraine, the sooner we will put this war to an end.
Sir, are you receiving everything you need, everything you would hope to receive from the United States? President Biden authorized another $800 million package, with heavier weaponry, offensive weapons for your fight in the East. Are you happy with what you have now, and what else do you need as you move forward?
It is true to say that the United States is the #1 in the world in terms of supporting Ukrainian defense capabilities. And we are deeply grateful to the Biden administration for acting in such a resolved and swift manner. However, I must tell you, of course, as a minister of a country at war, that it will never be enough until Russian soldiers leave their footprints on Ukrainian soil. The moment that we liberate our country, the moment that we win this war, I will say the United States did everything they could, and everything was enough to achieve this victory. And this victory will be for us, but also for you and all other democracies across the globe.
President Biden, Defense Secretary Austin, Secretary Blinken, who were in Kyiv 48 hours ago, have pledged ongoing support. Just wanted to ask you, Mr. Foreign Minister, on a human level, how the people of your country are doing. Obviously, the world has been so inspired by the fighting spirit and the resilience and the pride of your people, not just the military, but of the civilians there to rally in defense of their country. But obviously, there have been horrific atrocities inflicted upon you in places like Bucha and Mariupol and well beyond. How is that spirit of the Ukrainian people today?
Well, we are bleeding morally, militarily, economically, physically, but we are fighting, and we will not stop until we win. Russia inflicts enormous damage on us by all means, by destroying our cities, by destroying our economy, by committing atrocities, by shelling our cities and our soldiers. But we will not stop, because we have no other choice but to win in this war.
We are talking with Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba. And, sir, if I could ask you, focusing in on different areas that Russia is attacking, what is the state of Kherson at this moment?
Well, Kherson is under Russia's temporary control. They try to arrange a fake referendum to legitimize their presence on the ground. The biggest difficulty they're facing there is the unwillingness of Ukrainians in Kherson to actually participate in their fake undertakings. So they're struggling. I'm sure that we will liberate the city one day, but until then, our compatriots will resist peacefully to the occupant forces.
I'm just curious, you were saying the Russians were trying to conduct some sort of a vote in there. What did that look like? How were they doing that?
Well, this is the classic Russian technology, first tested in Crimea in 2014, the so-called referendums at the barrel of the gun, to imitate the people's will, the expression of people's will to be with Russia, and then to install their proxy authorities on the ground. But as I said, they're facing serious difficulties in Kherson and in the south of Ukraine, because Ukrainians resist these attempts.
We have David Ignatius from the Washington Post here. He has the next question for you, sir.
Mr. Foreign Minister, your forces are performing with great bravery, and there's new talk that Ukraine could win this war. I want to ask you about diplomacy. the UN Secretary General Guterres is scheduled this week to go to Moscow. I'm wondering if you still see any possibility for a negotiated settlement that would spare your country some of the agony that it's experiencing.
I don't think Secretary General will be able to end the war, but there is one crucially important task that he can implement. It's to arrange a green corridor for the defenders and civilians blocked by Russia in Mariupol, in the south of Ukraine. Mariupol is a bleeding wound on the body of Ukraine. We spent days and nights praying for them, for their survival, because Russia keeps shelling them 24/7. And we hope that the UN Secretary General will focus on a very specific task, offering his good services to Russia and us to help save these people.
Mr. Minister, the American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley, said yesterday that he thinks the next 2 or 3 weeks will be very, very important in the future of your country and the outcome of this war. Tell us what you think these next two or three weeks will be about.
Well, since the beginning of the war, we heard different estimations from military experts from various countries. Next 5 days, next 10 days, next weeks, next 2 or 3 weeks will be decisive. I want to make it clear, for us, every day is decisive because we fight for our soil and for our land and for our people. So whatever happens in the next 2 or 3 weeks or a month, it will be our struggle and our fight against Russian occupants. What is happening in Donbas, the famous battle for Donbas, is taking place right as we speak. Russia involved heavy artillery, tanks, bombers to destroy our positions. This battle is conducted in a World War II style. But as I said, we hold to the line, we hold our lines, we defend our soil, and now that more important weapons are coming from our partners, most importantly from the United States, we improve our chances to win in this battle within short perspective.
Gene Robinson.
Mr. Foreign Minister, the Russians say they want to take territory in the Donbass, but also in the south. Are you seeing the same sort of Russian offensive in the south that you're seeing in the Donbass, or are they concentrating their efforts right now in the Donbass?
They concentrate their efforts in Donbas. This is the main battleground, and we know that the top military leadership of Russia is involved in directly commanding this operation. In the south, they undertake a creeping political kind of annexation of these territories, trying to arrange the referendum that I mentioned, trying to suppress resistance, because they already brought FSB, the Russian security service, on the ground in the south, trying to suppress the opposition of Ukrainians to their presence. But the real battleground is Donbas, stretching from Kharkiv, northeast of Ukraine, and to Mariupol on the Sea of Azov.
Mr. Foreign Minister, you brought up Mariupol, and it's hard not to think every moment of every day about the people inside that steel plant. Is there any hope for them?
It's hard for me to explain to you how painful it is to receive messages from defenders of Mariupol. I'm in touch with one of our officers, and we speak daily, and he sends me videos of mothers with infants, children in the shelter, wounded Ukrainian soldiers in the space next to them who lack medicine, who die because of the lack of medicine. And while they are hiding from Russian bombs, Russia continuously bombs these shelters, trying to destroy them. It's ruthless, it's beyond humanity, and Russia clearly has the aim of killing all these people, and this is why we count on every effort to save their lives, including the effort of the UN Secretary General.